I would like to introduce you to a British politician who quite often does news articles for RT, Russian Times. His name is George Galloway, and he is very one-sided, and there is a word that I wanted to use but can't. Definitely narrow-minded. Now, I'm just going to play you a little bit of a clip of a show he did a couple of days ago on YouTube.
Now, the defense minister of the Netherlands, I know it sounds like an oxymoron, in a country that resisted Hitler for less than one single day.
There, what it sounds like, he is depicting that the Netherlands is a weak country during World War II. But what he didn't state is the facts. Just a one-word outline. But let me read you to correct. Despite Dutch neutrality, Nazi Germany invaded the Netherlands on the 10th of May 1940 as part of their Castello. On 15th of May 1940, one day after the bombing of Rotterdam, the Dutch forces surrendered. The Dutch government and the royal family relocated to Ottawa and also the UK until after the war. Let's continue a little bit further. When World War II erupted in September 1932, most of the Netherlands believed that their country could remain neutral, as it had in World War I. The months of phony war following the German invasion of Poland seemed to be justified this attitude. The Royal Netherlands Army did not immediately mobilize in 1939, but it was not at full strength until April 1940. But this is Germany, which basically had invaded Poland, basically Austria, basically France, for example, as well. None of those big countries survived. So how the hell, basically, was the Netherlands meant to defeat or counterattack the Nazi Germany regime? And also, they wanted to remain neutral, but Germany didn't. So, Mr. George Galloway, are you saying that the Netherlands is bad and Germany is good during this during World War II a long time ago, or are you just setting the plot? Again, this is just the first part of the show that I want to do because it's going to get worse now. Let's continue with his interview with a traitor of the United States of America called Brian, but we're not including him in this show.
But they have a defense minister. Of course, being achingly politically correct, it's a woman defense minister.
This is when I want to use the word sexist. Does it really matter the gender of the minister, whether it's a man, whether it's a woman? And the answer is no. So there are lots of words that I would love to call this gentleman. He seems to be stuck in the 18th century. Intolerant, forming opinions based on one's prejudices. I just wonder if he's actually married and he does have a wife, or does his wife just sit at home being a housewife all day? It's just an awful thing that you could say in the 21st century. So what do you think? Do you think he's a sexist just saying that the minister is a woman? It doesn't matter. There have been some amazingly great leaders who were women. Margaret Thatcher in the UK, for example. Your former leader, George, I'm sure you liked her. So who is this guy? Maybe you never heard of him before. He's quite opinionated on YouTube and is very pro-Russia, and he's very anti-West. Let's have a read from Wikipedia for you. George was born August in 1964, a politician, broadcaster, a writer, currently the leader of the Workers' Party in Britain, serving since 2019. And he is a member of Parliament, first with the Labour Party, etc. Let's take a break. And if you can read it, it's really in small text. It just repeats what I said a little bit earlier on. But he also does these interviews with the people, the Westerners who love Russia and again hate the United States of America. and he will do this on RT. RT is Russia Today, and RT has sort of been banned in a lot of places around the world because it's just doing Russian propaganda, and it will be very pro, obviously being Russia Today, Vladimir Putin's 10-day illegal war against the Ukraine, which seems to be going on a little bit longer. Do you remember when they said it would only take 10 days to capture the Ukrainian government? Oh, how Russia was wrong. So, what do you think? Do you think it's okay for a politician, a leader of a party, not that they ever get into power to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, should say that that person is a man or woman? It feels a little bit racist in one way. You just say a minister and then say the name. You don't need to say a woman. Yeah? But he sort of said it is politically correct. I think it's the other way round. I think it's politically incorrect for you to say that. And when you do your information about the Netherlands, make sure you do a bit more fact checking before you go and blurt it out on YouTube. The guy he was next to is a guy that I 1 or 2 times or 5 or 6 times mentioned on YouTube, is a former US Marine. I think he was just like an engineer in Japan, in Okinawa, down the far south of it. Didn't like being a Marine, maybe he was a bit too weak, and then ran away to Thailand and says he's a geopolitical analyst with no training at all. But isn't an analyst meant to do both sides of the story? But he just does one. Again, America, proxy war, war of nutrition, repeats, America is running out of ammunition to give to the Ukraine, etc. It's just baloney because he doesn't show any of the facts. He only shows the facts from the Western side, which will be negative, but he won't show any facts from the Russian side, which he will put as a positive. And George is exactly the same. I wish these people who did do the anti-West campaign actually had interviews with the real people, real broadcasters. But their excuse would be, well, they're always going to manipulate and change the story around. Well, if you did a live interview on YouTube or whatever kind of channel, then it can't be edited, can it? Later it can. So there's no excuse for these people, but they just stick in their small bunch of people and they will just say, oh, everything's bad. There's many of them on YouTube, and I feel it's like my duty to debunk and don't trust these guys. Who can you trust? Well, I think news should be objective, and these guys are very, very subjective, that America is bad, boo, and Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping and even that fat boy Kim in North Korea is good. Yay! Oh, I love them all. They're so fantastic, yes. Bye-bye.